Today's voiceover talent is more than just a pretty voice. Today's voiceover talent has to be a boss, a VO boss. Set yourself up with business owner strategies and success with your host, Ganguzza, along with some of the strongest voices in our industry. Rock your business like a boss, a VO boss.
Welcome, everybody, to the V.O.S.S podcast. I'm your host, Ganguzza, along with my lovely co-host, Gabby Nistico. Hey, Gabby.
Hello.
Today we have a special guest with us, a local LA girl who I've known since I've moved here and have really been, watching her through the years really just kill it. Welcome, everybody, Rebecca Davis. Hey, Rebecca.
Hey, thank you, guys. That was very sweet, Ann.
Well, I've been tracking you for the past few years, and honestly, you've made such big strides in the voiceover industry. So tell us a little bit about how you got started.
Ooh, okay. The abbreviated version. I've been an actress all my life, or an actor, actually. I started on stage back in New York when I was very little, around like 6 or something. So this is all I've been doing since I can remember. And my first touch of voiceover, I was living in Austin, Texas, and my agent at the time sent me on an audition for something called anime. And I didn't know what was going on, but I went in there and I loved it. I was like, what is this? This is awesome. So I started doing a lot of, Austin was a hub for dubbing then. And then I moved to Los Angeles to come out here for grad school and kind of put it all aside, was in my little grad school acting bubble for 3 years and just fondly remembered it and started doing the on camera and a lot of stage, doing the thing you're supposed to do as an LA actor, as it were. Mm-hmm. And I hit a point where I was very unhappy. I didn't like what was going on. I didn't like the way the on-camera world made me feel inside and out. And, I had the classic on-camera agent like, you need to lose weight. I'm like, this is... And I took an Artist's Way workshop for it was many weeks. It was like 8 to 12 weeks. And everyone kept saying to me, you keep talking about voiceover. And that was something that made you so happy. Why aren't you doing that? And at the end of the workshop over a few months, I was like, why aren't I doing that? And I just completely changed my career. I stopped at that point. I stopped doing all camera. It was kind of like an overnight thing. And I was, doing fairly well on camera and just stopped and switched all of my energy and all of my time and everything and my resources to pursuing voiceover. I took classes and stuff like that to make sure I still really loved it. And sure as poop, I don't know if I can curse in this podcast. Sure as poop, I still loved it.
Of course
so
you can curse. You think
we
we care?
Can I? Oh, yeah, okay. Sure shit.
Hell yes. There you go.
Oh, good, because I'm a potty mouth.
Rebecca, my word. I had no idea.
Oh, you think I'm all sweet and innocent.
We do. I always think of you as just being so bubbly and sweet and cute. And oh my God, I just want to
skipping in the fields with flowers and,
I do.
I just want to snuggle you and cuddle you and call you George. And
there's a dark side.
Rebecca, your personality is just so, oh my God, you're just so, I love you. You have such a charisma and such a wonderful, bubbly, friendly, lovely personality. I can only imagine that this is a part of your success in voiceover because you bring that. I just wanted to say that and say how much I admire that because it's a tough thing to do sometimes for people.
Thank you, and that means a lot to me. It really does because I've had, we've all had those ups and downs in lives and everything like that, and I've managed to find my stride, and I'm a strong believer of sharing that with people and bringing goodness around wherever you can. And I have days that are not great, but I really appreciate that. Thank you, because I just basically try to be myself and those things. I get super tongue-tied around trying to be like professional. It just feels so
whatever.
weird to me.
Dude, Anne is so right. You're infectious. And I mean, we're gonna fight it out over you. Like seriously.
No, I have the crush. I'm sorry.
No, I love her more.
No, I love her more.
No. It's mine.
Enough of me.
Back off.
Gabby and I have a long-time girl crush, though.
We do. We're a total
admit.
girl crush.
Well, now wait a minute. Now. I have a long-time crush with Gabby too, which is why we're doing this. No.
Uh-oh.
I love it.
We're gonna have to take this outside the booth.
Ladies. There's no fighting.
We are in a three-way podcast of IPDTL. Just saying, we have a three-way IPDTL connection.
I'm gonna need a cigarette when this is done.
Yeah, I'll join you.
Man.
This is going to be our most successful episode, I'm telling you.
Really
I
is,
love
my God.
it. Oh, it brings me back. It brings me back. Anyway.
Back to the business at hand, ladies.
Important, serious stuff.
I have a question for you, Miss Davis. This business can beat you down some days. It really can. We all kind of know that. It can leave a mark, and it's not a pretty one sometimes. So how have you managed to remain so positive, so upbeat, what seems like all the time?
That's a good question. It's a question that I have actually been kind of mulling over a lot lately because, like I said, it's the ups and downs. And I, this year, and like I said, I'm kind of an open book, and I'll be honest, this year has been rough. It's a roller coaster. It's a feast or famine. And I remember the beginning of this year, I was going through a really tough time and just reaching out to a lot of people with exactly what you're just asking me. Of like, how do you get through the dark shit? You know?
Oh, how funny.
I have support, and I think that's a huge part of it. I mean, my husband is... I'm not going to get verklempt. He's amazing and really helps me through those times. And he's so funny. He says to me sometimes, he's like, I want you to do anything in this world that you want to do, but why did it have to be an actor? Because he's like, I see it tearing you up inside sometimes. It is really fracking tough. And I just try to go to happy places, like physically and mentally. Like when shit gets too tough and I haven't been booking, I try to go somewhere or just put everything aside for a day and go out and have a day of fun in Los Angeles. It's a little game that my husband and I play.
It's genius.
Yeah,
I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, for a day, just put it down because I'm a big proponent of I don't live to work. I work to live. And I think mentally that helps me sometimes to remind me of when this is all getting really tough. Like, this isn't the only thing in my life. I mean, I love my job and I love being in the booth and I love when I'm working on animation and video games and getting into character. But there are other things in this world that I love too. And when I remind myself of that, it helps.
Perspective.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
That's outstanding. Because we do. Entrepreneurs, man, we get so wrapped up. Oh, my God.
Ugh.
I think some days we do. We forget. We forget that there's life outside of our job. And it's just like, good googly moogly, people, take a step back. We're not curing cancer. Like, nothing we're doing is that, amazingly important. We can walk away for a day and things won't collapse.
Yeah. And I think that's
very cool.
That's, I'm a travel junkie, an adventure junkie, and it's
you have the funnest travel pictures ever.
Oh yeah, who doesn't love Ninja? I mean,
right?
Who doesn't love? I track you on all of your travels. And Ninja as well, and it's just a great. You know what? What I really love about that is that it's become part of your brand. And
I was just gonna say
right?
that. Go,
love
take it,
that,
go.
I love that little part has become a part of your brand, and that part of your brand is all about who you are. It's not about what you sound like. It's not about trying to sell us your voiceover. It's all about who you are. As a person, as a business, as an entity, and that is what I think makes you so attractive, for potential clients and customers who just like Gabby was saying, infectious, and I think that's a big important part of your success.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The Ninja, I've grown to love my Ninja, but it came out of a completely organic place. Like, it was around for a long time before right, it was around a long time. But Ninja is actually a personal thing with me and my husband. And it started with that. And then it just became, people were asking me, where's Ninja? What's Ninja doing? What is this? What is that? I can't find him in the picture. And I was like, oh, this is fun. Let's keep doing this.
Oh, my God. So awesome.
And it keeps me, like, occupied when I'm somewhere I'm bored. I'm like, where can I put Ninja here?
Right. where can Ninja go?
Yeah, what weird thing can Ninja do right now? Because it's him, he, she, whatever it may be, is always with me. So
I was going to say, does Ninja go everywhere you go?
Yes.
There you go.
Ninja does. I now have multiple ninjas. This woman in Europe or in London makes them for me.
Wow.
Have you ever
great.
misplaced your Ninja?
I think there might be a few out in the world that I've left somewhere.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
Because originally it was just one ninja, and then one day I was like holding him we were on a boat or
He was
something.
you were on a cliff. No.
Yeah, I was like holding him on the ledge, and Steve was like, "Oh, we need to get you more of those. I can't. This is too anxious. I can't deal with the anxiety of you dropping Ninja in the water."
So, Rebecca, speaking of traveling in different areas, actually, I've been dying to ask you because you're originally from the East Coast, correct?
Yes, New Jersey.
So, exactly. So, a Jersey girl, yay!
Yeah, right.
Exactly, we're Jersey girls. So, talk to us about the difference between East Coast and West Coast for you in terms of the industry and your work.
Well, I can't really. I left the East Coast when I was 18. I left for college, so it was a different time. So I never really did. I mean, I did on camera when I was a little kid, but voiceover industry and the working industry, I unfortunately can't really compare it too much because I think it's an entirely different thing now. But growing up there, it was definitely more focused on stage. But I was never an actor living in New York.
Okay, then how about an actor or actress living in LA? Because I'm in Orange County and you're in LA, and we probably have vastly different day-to-day, let's say, activities. Because I think you do a lot more work in studios.
Yeah. There is that bonus here of when it's work with my agent and some of it with my clients. I get to get out of my booth and go into the studios, and they're all over. Some of the studios that are still in Los Angeles, I could get to your house quicker than I could get to them in Orange County.
Well, isn't that the truth? Anytime in Los Angeles.
It really is. And I think because I'm here in LA also, there's a lot of last minute. Like, I got a call today from a casting agency looking for a last minute.
Exactly.
At 4 o'clock. I'm like, I can't.
How many times have we rescheduled this? Because this is probably the 4th time we've tried to schedule our interview with Rebecca, because every time I would turn around, she'd say, "Oh, gotta go, got an audition," And so I think that you're right, because you are in Los Angeles. People know that you're available, and so you will get those last minute. And do you think that gives you an advantage at all, or just an advantage in LA, or advantage in your career?
I think it does give me an advantage in the sense of the stuff that I want to be working on, because I do get to do a lot more animation because I'm here and I can go directly to their studios. I think a lot of commercial work can be done. A lot of the commercial work I do is in the studios with clients. ISDN on the other line that my agents set up and stuff like that. So that can be done, in any area. But here in LA, having access to those studios, because a lot of the times they only want to work with you face to face, especially on the AAA types of games and animation and stuff like that. It's very face to face.
I think it's so interesting because for me, being completely outside of the LA marketplace and being in the Southeast, we always hear about the LA bubble. Everyone talks about how LA is just its own microcosm, and it kind of operates on its own rules, and it can be a little different than the rest of the country. And in some ways it seems antiquated, and in other ways it seems very advanced. Is that something you encounter, or is it not really something that affects you on a day-to-day?
I just kind of roll with it. There are some voice actors I know of that they established themselves and then they left and they just come back when they're needed. To do certain Disney shows or things like that. But they were established before they left, But LA is, I do feel like it really is a bubble. And I'll be honest, before I went to my first FAFCon, I had a little bit of the like, well, you have to be in LA if you want to really make it as a voice actor, or in New York, not like I was like, nah, but there was a certain bit of my brain that was like, you can't make it if you don't live here. And I'll tell you what, I was humbled when I went to my first FAFCon. Oh, I was wrong. Shut your face, Rebecca. Like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. There is so much. You do not have to, you don't have to be here. I know people that are way more successful than people that are living here.
And you know what?
It's cool
I love
to hear
that
you say that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I love that you said that, because I think there's a lot of people that feel as if they can't make it if they don't live in New York or LA. There's still that kind of, notion that's the way it is. And it really, I think LA is just a different style, and especially because you're saying that you do a lot of work in animation and in video games. And so, yeah, I agree that for that, it gives you, maybe it's an advantage of being here, but, it's great that you can be anywhere at this point. And
yeah, especially with, when I first started out, we didn't have the Skyping and the Google Hangouts and, and IPDTL and all of this stuff. Mm-hmm. So now you don't have to be here to train with the best either. You can train with them online. It just wasn't like that long ago. Or even, a few years ago, I feel like the coaching market hadn't quite figured out, I can work with people outside of LA. So I think that provides a lot of opportunities for people in other markets that want to work on their craft. But they don't, and some people I know actually still fly out here for certain workshops that they'd never get online, but...
Or they join VO Peeps and then they remotely train.
Exactly. There
people.
You go. So yeah, you don't gotta be LA.
So Rebecca,
Yes.
as a VO boss lady,
Yes.
what would be your best advice for people starting off in the industry in voiceover?
For starting off.
Yeah.
In terms of preparing for your career, training. I think it's so important. Get some training, but have a support group. It's like the not the physical, but like, the physical and the mental. Be ready for what's thrown at you. But I think if you don't have support, it's hard. People can do it on their own. I shouldn't say that. Like, people can, but it just helps a lot. And to have somebody inside the business support and outside the business to, like, keep you real.
Good stuff.
Yeah, and
I
don't
agree.
let anyone like take your dream away. That's here's the other one. Is, and I need to take my own advice all the time on this one, but don't compare yourself and your career path to others. Everybody's different. Some people I know hit it right away. I know somebody on her second agent audition booked an animated series. And she's great. She deserved it. But then there are some people that it takes years. But then they hit hard. Some people have, the opportunity and the luck and everything like that. And some people are going to have to crawl hands and knees their way up to where they want to be. And you just I kind of look at it sometimes as a chisel. And I'm just chiseling away, and we're just chiseling at that wall until we get to knock it down, and everybody chisels differently. So
I love that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Thanks.
How can our folks learn more about you and get in touch with you, lady?
Well, you can look at my website. It's RebeccaDavisVO.com. And that also has links to me on Twitter and on Instagram and Facebook and all that fun stuff. You can follow Ninja on my Instagram.
Yay!
Which is, my Instagram is Rebecca's Voice.
Wow.
And to people who are new in the business, I say, reach out. Feel free to reach out to me. Or somebody who has a question or something. I'm not the end-all, know-all. I'm, not the biggest person in my career and in LA and stuff like that. But a lot of people helped me when I was first starting out. And that's, honestly, it's one of the reasons why, for me personally, I switched from on-camera into voiceover. The other thing that I started to learn more over time was the community. And it's such a generous community, and everyone is so kind. And I was shocked by how willing people were to share. So people paid it forward to me, and I pay it forward to them. So, and speaking of paying it forward, real quick, if I could make a little plug, if you're in LA, and actually not in LA, we're opening up chapters around the world now. I program for an organization, nonprofit called Women in Animation, and we are dedicated to moving women forward in this career of all animation, not just voiceover, and it's everything across the board.
Awesome.
So we have events
Great.
here in Los Angeles.
Good stuff. Well, Rebecca, it has been so wonderful having you. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful spirit and joy and passion and wisdom.
Oh, thank you both for having me. This has been very delightful. It's been a lot of fun, and I hope, people got something out of it, inspire somebody.
It certainly has been a fun three-way IPDTL connection.
Oh, yes.
And
yes,
speaking
it
of
has.
which, big thanks to our sponsor, IPDTL.com. For you guys that are wanting to have a wonderful quality recording with IPDTL, you can find out more at IPDTL.com.
It's true. We could not have a three-way without them. It's true. They're like the lube of the audio world. It's fantastic.
Oh, my goodness. She said that.
She did.
She went there.
I love you.
Well, you let the tiger out of the cage.
There
This
you
is
go.
what happens. All right.
I'm going to say from all of us at the V.O.S.S podcast, everyone have a kick butt week. Stay focused. And rock your business
like a boss.
You can like us on Facebook at V.O.S podcast and Twitter at VO_boss.
And make sure to check us out on YouTube and also, of course, on VOBoss.com, where we've just released V.O.S University, where you can have access to our exclusive content, webinars, and more.
Get your VO MBA. Thanks, guys. It's been awesome. We'll see you next week in our next podcast.
Bye.
Bye.
Best three-way ever.
Join us next week for another edition of V.O.S with your hosts, Ann Ganguzza and Gabby Nisterko. All rights reserved. Ann Ganguzza voice talent in association with 3 Moon Media. Redistribution with permission. Coast-to-coast connectivity via IPDTL.